I think there's a lot of things that that the youth can do. I think that we can do as individuals. I think to begin with, just to become a little more aware as people. Um, so let me give this in two perspectives. One is, say, for someone like me who is experiencing anxiety and depression. I think if I feel certain signs and symptoms, whether it's restlessness, whether it's, not being able to sleep, sleeping too much or lack of sleep, whether it's irregular, your eating patterns, are you eating less or are you eating more? Are you feeling a sense of sadness or low for a prolonged period of time? And I think it's very important to understand the difference between sadness and depression. Sadness is something that we all go through in our lives for various reasons: death, failure in an exam, um, heartbreak. I think sadness is transient. Depression is not transient. I think depression sort of lasts for a much longer period of time. And I think that's when you realize that, okay, this is where I need to share. This is where I need to express. So for someone who's experiencing that, I think it's important at that very moment to share with somebody that you're close to. It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a family member, it could be a sibling. But I think the first step really is to share with somebody around you how you're feeling. Um, I think for people around, it's important to not just um, sort of dismiss it as attention seeking. It's important for us to feel empathy towards the person who's telling us something. Um, I think we all have now a habit of asking each other how we're doing without really listening to whether we actually, if I ask you how you're doing, am I actually interested in how you're doing? Um, and would you be vulnerable enough to share with me how you're doing? So I think all of those things, I think in the way that we engage with people on a daily basis, sharing with each other, understanding from each other, um, I think, and then of course seeking help. So it's important for caregivers to encourage those feeling certain signs and symptoms to seek professional help. There is a lot of stigma, especially in our country, especially in India. There is a lot of stigma with regards to seeking professional help. Parents do not want to take their children to counselors or to psychiatric treatment because they're concerned about what other family members will think. They're concerned about what society will think. Um, and I think, I've come across situations where there are people experiencing mental illness who want to seek help, but somewhere the family is not willing to allow them to do that. And sometimes it's the other way around, where the parents want their children to seek professional help and the child is resistant to that. Um, in my personal experience, I think acceptance of medication, I think for me it was a combination. Again, I'm not someone who can prescribe and say yes, you should take medication, but I will say that in my personal experience it was a combination of taking medication as well as lifestyle changes that have led to where I am today. But it is also a constant taking care of myself. It is an illness that can come back. So I have to take care of myself on a daily basis. The amount I sleep, what I eat, exercise, mindfulness, all of those things are things that I still have to do on a regular basis to ensure that I don't go back into that dark world and dark space again.